Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the only call funnel that you will ever need to print multiple six-figure months with your info offer, whether it's for yourself or for your clients if you're an operator, right? And just so you know what I'm talking about, all right. So we're going to get straight into it, all right? Okay. So as you can see, the offers or the funnel is pretty simple. Um, you have the VSL, you have the opt-in, application, thank you page, setter set, booked call, pre-call sequence. Then you have the call. If they don't close, you have a follow-up sequence, and then if they close on the call. So I'm gonna run you through each step and why it works. So the first thing you have is the VSL. That's going to be your landing page. When someone clicks your link, they're gonna pop up on this VSL page. All right. So they're gonna watch the VSL. They're gonna see the hero text, the subtext. They're gonna watch the VSL, and then if they're interested, they'll click the apply button. And when they click that apply button, an opt-in will pop up for their number, their first name, last name, whatever, email. And once they fill that out, it'll take them to the application page. Now, there are some caveats when it comes to this funnel because you can kind of switch things in a certain way. There are people who do the opt-in before the VSL, so they have the opt-in, and then once they fill that out, then it brings them to the VSL where they can apply. But I don't necessarily like that because I want people to see my hero text and watch the VSL and just see if it even resonates with them first. Because if they fill in that opt-in page and they give us their information and then they watch the VSL and turns out it's not what they want at all, well, now we just have leads sitting in our CRM that we don't even fucking want. Which is why I do the opt-in after, because if they're filling out their information after they watch the VSL, it automatically proves that they're way more interested. And then another caveat is the application page. Some people will embed the application page on the VSL page, or they make it a whole separate page where the application is. You can do whatever you prefer, it doesn't really matter, as long as it's still, this right here. And the reason why you want to even be collecting people's emails and phone numbers through opt-in pages is not only to one, grow your email list or SMS list for, marketing down the line. But if someone watches the VSL and then they go straight to an application, if they did not fill the application and you didn't collect their info, how are you supposed to email them and redirect them back to the application to fill it back out? So you want to collect their emails and their SMS so that in the event that they fill out the application only halfway, you can retarget them with email campaigns and an email sequence to get them back to the application. Then once someone fills out the application, preferably through Typeform, you then redirect them to a thank you page. And on the thank you page, you just want to have a video of you setting the expectations, shattering any limiting beliefs, taking away their buyer's remorse, all that sort of stuff, just framing them for the call. And then in that video, if you have setters who are manually setting these appointments, you want to have in the video being like, be on the lookout, in the next 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. One of my guys is going to hit you up and is just going to ask you some qualifying questions. Don't say that exactly, but something like that. And so here is another caveat in terms of the call funnel. If you are a relatively small offer, meaning you don't have any setters at all or closers, you could simply just have people book a call on the application page. So if they qualify using if-then logic with Typeform, if they qualify, you can have them book a call at the end of the application, which then takes them to the thank you page, which then, books them the call and pre-call sequence. But if you are a relatively big offer, you're going to want to have setters, hitting up these people manually because you want those human touch points. You want that personal touch points. And so then once you have the setters set those appointments and they get the call booked, then they're going to get the pre-call sequence. So these are going to be Not just reminder emails. You don't want to just send them fucking ass reminders, because that's just going to annoy them and piss them off and probably push them away from even showing up to the call. You want these emails in the pre-call sequence to be very, very value packed with educational content, framing their mindset, breaking limiting beliefs, showing case studies, handling any objections. You just want to send as many emails. Obviously, don't send them a fucking email every hour leading up to the call. But I mean, depending on the timeline of your call, we on my offers that I work on, I only let people book 48 hours in advance. So there's not that many emails that to send. But if you're letting people book out a week from now, an email a day at least. And then you also want to throw in text there too. Personal text, not automated text. You want to have whatever setter or closer uh, personally sending these people text messages and really talking to them and hitting that personal touch points. And then you have the call. The day of the call, they show up. Um, if they do not close, well, first of all, if they close, hooray, you closed. If they do not close, you need to have a follow up sequence. Depending if they didn't show up or they got on the call and just didn't close for whatever reason. You want to have a follow up sequence for both of those scenarios. And a follow up sequence for both of those scenarios could be its own separate video, so I'm not going to go too far into it right now. But this is basically the whole funnel. And so I'm just going to recap with you how you should do it. You have the VSL page. So you have the hero text, the subtext, the VSL, whatever. Below that VSL, you have the button to apply. When they click that, the opt-in page pops up asking their first name, number, and email. Once they fill that out, it redirects them to the application page. They fill out the application page. Once they fill it out, then they get redirected to a thank you page, thanking them for taking that next step, congratulating them, setting expectations, for then the setter to come in and call them within 5 minutes, ideally like a minute or two. Call them, set the appointment, financially qualify them first, obviously, and then set the appointment. The setter gets them booked in for a call. Then they receive the pre-call sequence. All right. This is where they'll be receiving all of those emails and personal texts on the human touch points. Then they show up to the call. If they do not close on the call for whatever reason, or they did not show up at all, then you have the follow-up sequence to either get them to reschedule back on the call and hopefully close them, and then voila, close deal. And that is basically it. I will say this is mostly an organic funnel. This wouldn't really work with, I would never run this on a ad funnel. Usually for ad funnels, I would stick to webinars. But for organic funnels, primarily with YouTube, I only want to work with creators who are on YouTube because YouTube has the best audiences. But this is what you would run. This is the only call funnel you'll ever need. There are plenty of other different funnels in general, but I think by far for high ticket one-on-one coaching, this is just the best funnel, dead stop. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, if you are an operator and you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. If you are an online coach, info seller, whatever, that's in the biz op niche, and you're currently stuck and cannot scale your coaching offer, also DM me on Instagram, and we can possibly work something out if it makes sense and get you to whatever dream number you want to hit. All right. Thank you for watching, y'all. Peace out.